Hey everyone, Black Box Engineering here today. I'm going to provide some advice. I like to mix up the content that I have on this channel. I think it's important to have a moment to be realistic. I think it is wise to listen to advice wherever you can. Of course, things should obviously be taken with a grain of salt. You've got valid opinions too. Sometimes I do think there is such a thing as toxic positivity and over-encouragement, at least in recent years. If we refuse to have a balanced perspective, we can miss out on hard, real world consequences. In general, there usually isn't anything wrong with encouragement and setting goals or even having dreams. I think it is best to evaluate where you are in your current goal and consider stopping and refocusing. Perseverance is not a bad thing, but there is a point in life where you should consider your livelihood and potentially walk away. I don't always appreciate those videos online that claim that if you set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. I understand that it's a pretty wholesome idea in general, but it's not always practical. One of my favorite shows is Kitchen Nightmares. You might ask, what does this have to do with this topic? But for whatever reason, I like the no-nonsense approach Gordon Ramsay takes when he talks to adults. Sure, his spitfire temper is famous and sometimes aggravating, but he actually does make a lot of good points when he talks to these restaurant owners. In most recent episodes, there have been a lot of owners with several hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and maybe even approaching millions or even past that. In the back of my head, I wonder if they really hadn't considered the complexity of owning a restaurant business. I also start thinking, wouldn't it be best if they just cut their loss and refocus their career? Some of these owners actually do end up selling or even closing their business. Of course, this is unfortunate, but they did see the writing on the wall at least. I mean, others do continue in their business and actually succeed, which is great. I think sometimes it is best to know when to cut your loss, regroup, and find a different path. I wouldn't necessarily say giving up is the best solution. I don't want anyone to lose their perseverance. Just because you may need to change your outcome doesn't mean you're not being perseverant. It all depends on what you're pursuing. Think of it as having a perseverant spirit or even having hope. Do not become hopeless or overly despondent. That will lead you to dark places quickly. Oddly enough, having a business or some kind of investment have similar behaviors when it comes to gambling. Anything good can turn into a problem if you become addicted to the idea of growth, even if you're not prepared for the work or the job or the whatever thing that you're trying to pursue. In the end, it's always best to evaluate your skill and whether or not you can actually achieve the things you want to do realistically. Stay perseverant, but do not leave things to chance if things actually look bleak for you. I've had past experiences where I became so upset with my outcome that I thought I was a complete failure overall. In reality, I was just setting extremely unrealistic goals. Stay wise and try to think outside the box. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.